soul of the city.
What is going on, St. Louis City fans and MLS fanatics? Welcome back to another episode of Soul of the City, brought to you by First Touch Media. Today is Sunday, March the 3rd, and St. Louis City has just had their first win of their second season in MLS. We took on NYCFC last night, 2-0 victory. Probably the best performance we've seen from St. Louis since October of 2023. It was definitely a breath of fresh air for the St. Louis squad. Hearing the players talk in the post-game, it sounded like everybody was very happy with the way that they stepped up their performances. And honestly, 2-0 probably doesn't fully encompass how many great opportunities we had in this game. Guys, what did you think?
So I thought our back line was the best part of the game, personally, other than Sam, cooking all game. I thought our back line, holding him to one shot on target the whole game. Tim Parker stood out to me, and Totland mostly, especially Tim Parker tracking back on every single one. And his tackles were great every single time. Durkin as well, I would say. I was telling Riley yesterday when watching the game, because we were there, I was like, he reminds me of Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Great off the ball, but once he gets that ball, he had some questionable passes every single time. And I was like, yeah, but his tackling was phenomenal, especially did he have one yellow card, but he had really hard tackles every single time. He was trying to kill the guy, it seemed, at sometimes.
Yeah. I definitely think Durkin was doing the dirty work in the midfield. Kind of taking that Blom role, which he wasn't in the starting 11 because he got injured, we learned after last night's game. But, yeah, I think the back line, like you said, was really great. I thought Nielsen looked like the player we thought he was going to be for maybe the first time. I don't know. We've seen kind of flashes of it, but yesterday he was really, really good. Same with Parker, and Berkey had his weekly wonder save, I'd say. And then, Celio, masterclass. AZ, I thought looked pretty good. There's kind of some different
controversy.
Yeah, different views on his performance. But, yeah, that's my initial thoughts.
Yeah, we could definitely talk about formation in this one. When the lineup was announced originally, I thought we were playing a 4-2-3-1. But as it turns out, and after reviewing the footage, it seems like we started out like a true 4-4-2, flatline midfield, and then AZ and Sam up top, which was a bit of a shakeup in roles for AZ. I think maybe he's played there one time in the past. But I liked it. I felt like Leuven and Durkin both weren't it didn't seem quite as a double pivot. They were truly kind of next to each other the entire game. I don't know if you guys felt the same way.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely I wouldn't say there's two strikers from what I watched. AZ was definitely the furthest up the pitch next to Sam. But I don't know. I guess second striker maybe, or center attacking mid, or center forward. I don't know what you want to call it, but yeah. It was definitely a flat four. It didn't really look like the diamond four that we had seen for a lot of the latter parts of last season. But yeah, I was pretty happy with how it looked.
Yeah, I thought AZ was more of the ball carrier, up the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And at some times, I just thought, he just made the wrong decision, or kept the ball at his foot way too long, trying to dribble in, which kind of was hey, you might just want to kind of pass a bit more. Especially at the box, you would just run in, then look at what to do and get dispossessed or make a bad pass. I personally don't. I thought he was the worst player on the field, but doesn't mean he had a really bad game. I just thought he could have done better. Personally, I would like to see him get benched, not because of he's bad or anything. More so, I would like to see a different midfield of Leuven, Durkin, and Blum, and have a wingers and have a 4-4-3. 4-3-3, and actually a different play to our strengths, because it seems like Sam is physically is like a specimen, dog. Like this dude on the counter, like 3 dudes were chasing him, and he just brushed them all off and just ran all the way. In the end, his pass was pretty poor, but just getting there, it just took the other team a lot, and they couldn't even stop him realistically. Like he just got all the way down there, and just the pass was poor. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, we talked a lot about like, oh, Sam's so great playing like off the bench role, but in reality, it seems like he can do that for a full 90. Like you said, he's a specimen, and that dude can just run forever.
Yeah, I think like the next Drogba, the next Osimhen, we have him right here. He is 25, but also a guy in Liverpool named Mo didn't peak until he was 25. So you never know when a player actually starts peaking and becoming better. I think he's going to be our starting striker moving forward. Klaus complains too much for me. Like he always throws his hands up when he does it.
And I feel like Klaus doesn't press as hard as Sam does either. Like with Sam, you know what you're going to get. Like he's your typical striker. I feel like he's going to run in behind. He's going to pin the center backs, and he's also, for our system, like he's just a better presser, I think. I feel like when Klaus subbed on this game, he was definitely like the second striker, like kind of that AZL role, and it almost seemed to me like he was playing as a midfielder sometimes, which, what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I think that's kind of how we've seen him play throughout the start of this season, is dropping a little bit deeper into midfield and not really playing, at the back line of the opposition. Yeah, I would agree with you on that one. Just to touch on Ezekiel Jackson again, he did have like one. I guess there was one good moment from him where he forced a save out of freeze with a shot from long range. Can't be too displeased with that, but I would probably agree. I think Ian said it on the last episode that sometimes he does just get the ball caught under his feet and can't quite get it out quick enough. We saw Tomáš Ostrak sub on for him in this game, and I think it depends. Like we've never seen St. Louis play with a 4-3-3. We've been advocates of it on this podcast in the past, and I would probably agree with Durkin arriving in St. Louis now. I think it makes a lot of sense to at least give it a try. Celio absolutely on fire, a goal and assist last night. He could have had 2 goals. He clattered the woodwork on one really good chance.
And that was actually set up by AZ as well. He kind of got the ball passed to him in the middle of the field, and I think he found the right pass. I don't know. I feel like maybe we're being a little too harsh on AZ. To be fair, though, to support your guys' point, 0 accurate crosses, 0 accurate long balls, 0 successful dribble attempts. So...
yeah, I think I just don't want to see him in the midfield. I feel like we have better options. If they want to throw him out wide as a winger, give that a chance. I'm fine with it. But just like Durkin, Blum, and Leuven, I think that's the midfield that I want.
So would you rather have AZ over Vasilev on that right side?
Yeah, rotate in between games. What'd
you think of Vasilev this game?
I think he did have a yellow early on, so he did get subbed off. The first person to get subbed off. I don't think that yellow was very warranted, but also where I was sitting, like watching the game in the stadium and on TV is wildly different.
Yeah,
I would say. So I don't know. I didn't think from where I was sitting it was a yellow, but on TV it could have looked a bit more violent.
I guess you were at the same.
I was right next to him.
Yeah. He slid. It looked like the guy was going to cut inside, so Vasilev slid, but he just kind of turned the ball, I guess. So it was kind of a hard tackle, I guess. Maybe a soft yellow, but the guy got straight up and ran and yelled at the ref, so I think that's really mostly why he got the yellow.
I think last night the scab refs were on full display. We saw tons of yellow cards in this game.
A red card, too.
A red card.
A warranted red card.
Very warranted. Yeah, we can touch on that later. But, yeah, I just felt like the game was again, so stop and go. So many times where, I felt like a soft foul maybe was called. and he would immediately give a yellow for a lot of stuff. I don't know. Maybe he wasn't too terrible. Maybe the game was just pretty chippy. I know Chris Durkin, after the game, he had made the comment that it was a chippy game. He said a dog fight like 3 times in the post-game press conference. And anytime I hear dog fight, I just think of like American players abroad like calling games dog fights.
This derby was a dog fight. We tried our hardest. We got to do what coach tells us to do.
Yeah. So that was the energy that I was getting from Durkin. But yeah, I'm a big fan. And he was so pleased with the crowd in St. Louis. And he was just talking a lot about feeding off the crowd's energy. I thought this game, the crowd was electric once again. And it really does benefit all of our players. One guy who we really wanted to see step up has been Edouard Leuven, and in this game I feel like he absolutely did that. Looked a lot more like his former self. What did you guys think of his performance?
I thought he looked way better than previous matches. Especially, I think people underestimate coming back from injury, that you're not going to play the same for a while. A lot of people think if you're coming back, it's like you're already at 100%, but in reality, you're going to be very rusty. It's like coming back from vacation, going to work. You're kind of tired. But, a couple of weeks, you'll get back into it. I think he looked great. Hope he gets better going forward.
Yeah.
Yep. I think we have been kind of criticizing him of late. He just, like you said, he looked rusty and just off his game. But today, he kind of, or yesterday, he showed why he's one of the best players on our team.
Yeah.
And in the MLS, probably, I'd argue, on a good day.
Yeah, man, it was a complete performance. A clean sheet at home. You really can't have any complaints. I feel like this season our defense looks so much. It looks a lot more. What's the word I'm trying to organize? I feel like we overall have a better shape about our back four. I think Totland plays a big part in that. I thought he was phenomenal, even though Fat Mob will disagree with me. I thought he had a great performance.
It's probably because of the yellow card he got.
Probably, yeah.
Dropped his rating. He did break this dude off, and the whole crowd was just going crazy. I think this year upcoming we're gonna score less goals. I really think so, but I think defensively we're gonna surprise people.
Yeah,
because I thought we looked really good. Maybe it's because New York sucks. We don't know, But I think defensively, like we conceded 2 goals.
I think what really worked for us defensively last night also was, one, New York was playing possession really deep in their own half, and like they weren't very good at it. Or at least our press in their half was looking way better than it has in the past, this season and end of last season. So I think, it kind of starts with that, right? But then part of it also, I do think, has to do with Totland just being such an upgrade at right back, because whenever he has the ball, like, he's not going to lose it and give up cheap giveaways like what we're used to seeing with Nerwinski and even Akil Watts. So, yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of reasons, why, like you said, our defense is going to be better this year. Nielsen also, another one. I mean, he looked great.
If he's fully healthy, it's going to be so big for our defense throughout this year. He was making some runs back against their forwards where, like, you would think that, big burly center back is not going to be able to keep up pace with some of their forwards, but he absolutely was running with them, and I was highly impressed by him. And with Tim Parker, like, I honestly think he's number 1 CB in our depth chart. Like, he's so phenomenal, and I'm just so glad that his injury isn't something that's going to keep him sidelined for too long. I think he's so instrumental to what St. Louis is supposed to do.
I was telling Riley yesterday, I'm like, this dude, because he was booking it, like, a lot of times, like he was getting red while running, and it was like, and when he made, like, he kind of like push people off and stuff like that, I'm like, yeah, I think our back line is going to be different this year. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm talking out of my ass right now because it's, it's 2 games basically in the season. But I think defensively going forward, we're going to either have a lot of draws or just like
clean sheets.
Clean sheets going
Close
forward.
games.
Yeah. Yeah, I think after Nielsen's last start, he played 90, and there were some concerns because like he's kind of coming off of injury too, right? So there were some concerns about him being able to play the whole game, last game and this game. But after this game, he said that he felt fresh and good to go, which is really good, I think. Good sign.
Yeah, he had no preseason, no nothing.
Yeah.
He's been kind of thrown into it. So to see that performance last night is really promising.
I think he hit the sauna,
Yeah.
drink a beer or two and said, hey, let's get it in, guys, and just go in. Sometimes you just need a rest. Maybe that's like instead of exerting yourself and actually training, just let your body rest sometimes. And it'll come back to you. You've done this 20 plus years. This is what you do. So let your body rest, I think, most of the time.
Yeah, man. It was a great night. I really have no complaints.
Have we talked enough about Celio?
I don't know. I honestly don't think we
mentioned.
have, yeah.
I thought his goal, but I'm going to throw this out. Both of those goals in person, right? I have a new respect for MLS players because that Sam goal, because we were right in front of it, right? And it was like super, super tight. Like on the replay, it didn't look like it, but he was like one wrong step, he was out of the pitch. Like that goal, I was like, yo, I think Garrett's mom cried when she saw that goal, and everyone was like going crazy. That goal was phenomenal. Then Celio's goal, dude, just like, hey, I guess the Neymar MLS, dog. This dude really cooked, and I was like, hey, these goals were phenomenal last night. Like, they're top class.
He, on Celio's goal, he hit such a mean hezzy, and just like, he looked so confident last night. It was so good to see.
And he's always looked confident, like dribbling with the ball. And I mean, it's just crazy to me that he hasn't been starting. Like, I guess, like, I don't know if maybe he wasn't working as hard on defense maybe as Carnell would have liked, but definitely not this game. I mean, he was backtracking. He was pressing like crazy.
I remember in the second half, there was one moment where he was dispossessed. And the second he lost the ball, he's turning and going to win that ball back, which is exactly what you want to see. And it was like right at midfield, too, where he knew that he had to go win that ball back and instantly ran to go do it. I was very pleased with that. Yeah, the press was on again last night, like big time. And the Celio in the postgame was talking a lot about principles and like how this game really highlighted, the team's principles, which it sounded like that was something that they were maybe missing in their last few performances. And it's good to see them get back to what they know how to do, which is press and go fucking get that ball back.
I think when you like outscore your XGs, you're having wonder goals basically at that point, because we had an XG of half.
Really?
Yeah, like Sam has an XG of 0.2 this season. He has 2 goals already.
Damn.
But so like those goals are like
nice goals,
phenomenal goals.
Yeah.
Like
I was about to say the Sam goal. So it was a beautiful pass by Leuven to Celio down the left, and then a perfectly weighted pass by Celio to Adeniran. But watching that live, I mean, I was incredibly concerned when he didn't pass the ball to Klaus in the middle. Like, he had no angle. Like you said, he was like a yard away from the goal line. I think the XG on that chance, I looked, and it was like 0.08. So like that gets scored 8% of the time, right? So
not when you're Prince Sam, our
Make
Nigerian Prince.
King Sam.
Did you guys see his dad's Nigeria tracksuit in the postgame? Oh, so drippy.
I know that he wears outfits like that, like in the pre-game, like when they're walking, onto the field or whatever.
Yeah, and he rocks his own brand too. He's about to be a self-made quadrillionaire with that shit.
Hopefully, Nigerian call-up. Actually, it's going to be very difficult because they only have strikers.
You think Sam could see a move overseas?
I hope not. Just to like build up the MLS. I don't want to be a farmers league and just like people just taking talent. But I could see him in like Netherlands type of area.
He was a part of the group whose contract is going to be up at the end of this season. So
I hope we sign him.
Yeah, that's why I did a post game tweet that was like, give him whatever he wants. If he wants something, you bow down and give him that shit.
I think our contract situations are very, very interesting. I was looking over our finances after we had
Mr. Accountant.
after we had a heated discussion in our group chat about signing DP players. I think 2 of our DP players could be considered TAM players. Like they don't make that.
Isn't Berkey a TAM player?
I think so. I think it's
and
Klaus.
he's got a big
He
salary.
gets paid the most, I think.
Yeah. And
So
you can just drop him. It's I think a 1.3 something million. There's like a specific number that you have, and all of them like can be TAMs. And we could have 3 DP players,
Like 3 new ones. You're
3
saying.
new ones.
Yeah.
Technically, we could do that if we wanted to. But a lot of people are saying we're gonna piss money. But at the same time, it's like how I see it is, especially if you're going forward. Like, okay, we're good now. We don't know we're gonna be good in 5 years. So why not capitalize on right now? Like bring in some players. We don't have to spend like a crap ton of money or something, but bring in players to strengthen the squad going forward and potentially win something. Because a lot of these things, like you can never win anything. Like look, there's like teams like who are good that never won anything. Like if you look at like Juventus, never really won anything since 2010. Really, kind of fell off in the Champions League. Or like other teams, like even American sports, like not capitalizing on what they had and just don't win. You have to kind of do that. You have to kind of restructure contracts. Like look at the Chiefs. Like that's what they did. Keep players.
Yeah,
and
Taylor
cut some.
Twellman last year, like early on into the season, was talking about like how well St. Louis were performing, and that both Klaus and Leuven could be TAM players. Their contracts could be restructured to bring in 3 new DPs. So it's interesting that we haven't capitalized on it, and it is interesting that we still don't have a 3rd DP. Obviously, in the MLS, we get the transfer window until
April.
like the start, until damn near the start of summer. So there's still time. Obviously, with a win like this, probably less likely to say we need this DP now.
Well,
But-
it's also funny that you guys bring that up because one of the commentators was talking about it last night during the game, and they were kind of posing the question like, well, you have to really find the right players for St. Louis City because, first of all, they have to be like selfless and press even if they know they're not going to get the ball, or you have to make runs even when you know you're not going to get the pass or whatever. I mean, that's the thing. Like, why overpaying for someone and giving them, above the max or whatever, the DP, like, it has to be the right player. That's really what it boils down to.
Go look at Toronto with Bernadeschi and Insigne. Like
Worst record.
Yeah, terrible.
Last
They were I think they were wooden spoon last year.
So.
And two DPs who just didn't do anything.
Also, I didn't completely understand the DP rule because I know it's like after it's like on your salary cap, it's like it'll count as $600K towards your salary cap, but you can essentially
pay them as much as you want.
Mm-hmm.
I just think Toronto is just bad and just doesn't know how to build a squad.
Well, I think I don't think we would ever be in that scenario because they're probably spending like 70% of their wage bill on 2-3 players,
right?
And like you said, we have DPs that could be TAM players, so we're paying them, I don't know, 10%. Let's just say, So, I don't foresee that, and I don't think that would be a problem. I just don't think it's worth taking the risk.
I think just one more player, and I think a winger. I think some creative output on the wing. I think that's would help us going forward. I'm not gonna ask for like someone who costs $10 million or something, but like I think we should start looking at South America and Mexico. Look at their league and see what players they have, and like okay, should we bring some? Because we kind of look at more of like Danish and Germany most of the time. That's where most of our players.
It's the Lutz network right there.
Yeah, that's how he knows. But I think we should also start building a network closer to home.
Yeah, I do wonder if Diego Gigliani knows some South American, has some connects down there. Yeah, it would be interesting. But yeah, did you guys want to touch on this game? That pass on Adeniran's goal, like everyone's probably thinking that maybe he should pass it and be selfless. But I don't know, man. The center back sliding in there, it would have to be a very well-weighted pass, like chipped over. I'm just glad that it all worked out in the end.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, like, it's a low-chance goal, like a low-chance shot to take, but the pass wasn't, like, you know, an easy, like, 100%, guaranteed solution.
Yeah, he made the right decision.
I mean, it went in, so who cares?
Smashed it home.
I think the other one that he had the chance where they won the ball in the midfield and went back and someone else was running with him and he decided to shoot it instead of passing the ball. I think that was an easier pass.
You're talking about when it was like 4-on-2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see that? I think that would have been a better, like...
And he shot it wide.
Yeah. I think that moment he probably should have passed. It would have been... But also... I like my strikers to be very selfish, personally.
That's
I
fair.
mean, that just shows confidence, right?
Yeah.
If our strikers taking the shots, you know,
shoot. That's
right. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Other than that, the stadium was pretty. But some of the chants, dog, like some of them hit and some of them miss. I'm gonna throw that out. Like some of them, I'm like, I don't know if I want to sing this, so I just sit there and make noises. Like, I'm not gonna lie, we were making just saying words based off of whatever, like to the chant, just to get the crowd going.
Improvise.
I feel like the noise is what's important, not the words necessarily.
Yeah, I just think some of the chants need to be acts.
Hey, that's not our department.
Yeah, but some of them,
we've tried to generate a few, but they've not made it far.
Some of them are really good. I like some of them, but also they had the we're from St. Louis. And
we're from the Lou and we're proud.
That one didn't really pan out well for them yesterday.
Yeah, I saw on Twitter they couldn't hear it, and they really had no idea that it was going on.
Oh, was
the
that the call
end.
and response?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was watching. I didn't.
And I thought
that
maybe they had caught on to it at the end. I thought maybe I heard a little. And we're proud, but I couldn't really tell. That was at the very end, and they were like, "Nah, cut it." So
yeah, they're like someone just the dudes who were doing it started laughing. You're like, let's do something else here now.
Yeah,
they did the Yankee Doodle one or something.
Of course,
go
classic. Yeah, I think they'll improve as time goes on. We're at the beginning of our second year. Maybe we'll see some new stuff throughout the year. One chant that we did do was for the Open Cup. We had I think it was 10 minutes. We had about a minute of silence, and then we did an Open Cup chant. Obviously, we haven't really touched on it on this podcast, but the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup has been, at least for a lot of MLS teams, pretty much scrapped. I believe
for 2024.
I believe there's 8 clubs from the MLS that are going to participate, and then I think it was 12, maybe even less than that, of MLS Next Pro teams who were going to participate. And obviously, being from the city of St. Louis, a tournament that means a lot to the people in this city, it's unacceptable. This format that they've decided on is, it's never going to grow the game at this rate when your D1 side is choosing to not participate and not send all of its clubs. It's really disappointing, and I believe once the Leagues Cup comes around, our voice here in St. Louis will be heard.
So I guess, expanding on that, the decision was the top 7 teams from last year, they're not in the Open Cup at all. Then the next 7 are, is it the Next Pro?
MLS Next Pro, I think.
Yeah.
And then the bottom 12 after that are their pro or their, main teams. Is the Leagues Cup, does that have USL? And
No.
It's Liga MX and MLS.
The Leagues Cup is kind of bad. It doesn't really make sense. It's unfair also.
Yeah, it's a worse CONCACAF Champions League.
Yeah. It's also why not just improve the Champions League, basically?
Yeah.
Make that better.
Yeah, seriously.
Or improve the Open Cup and advertise that more.
It's basically canceling the Open Cup like this is just a big middle finger to all of the lower division clubs.
Big time. And it's how you grow the game. When you force these MLS, I'm going to say force, but when the MLS teams go and travel to lower division sides and go play there, that's what grows the game. Not these big cash grab tournaments that, I mean, sure, there's going to be big names from the Mexican League, but it's like we need to be growing the sport here in America instead of trying to offer an arm to Liga MX fans who are living in America.
Right. I mean, because first of all the players who play in USL and the lower division leagues, that's how they get exposure. And, there's a lot of talent in those leagues.
Sam Adeniran.
Right. That's where he came from. And, if you don't play these games against them, you don't really know how they stack up against the top tier opponents. So that's one thing. And then just like generating, first of all, it's an opportunity for fans of those clubs to see their teams play against
what is hailed the best in the land.
Right. And then it generates, ticket sales for those smaller teams that probably aren't drawing huge crowds week in and week out. So it's just, it's just very unfortunate.
And the disappointment is especially large for people in St. Louis because of clubs like STLFC. Like when we beat FC Cincinnati in the U.S. Open Cup, that's like a top 10, top 5, maybe even the number 1 biggest moment in that club's history. Now we're stuck in the MLS. We have no opportunity to participate to go win this trophy that's so illustrious to the people of St. Louis. It's just sad. It's truly a bad look for MLS and for U.S. soccer as a whole. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that a little bit.
The League Cup is like stupid. I don't really get why it's such an obvious like cash grab.
Yeah.
It's like if I'm a Liga MX fan, I'd be very mad because there's no home games.
Yeah.
There's no home games. Like we're going to this just for the money, basically. It's a disadvantage. Like, if I'm like a Monterrey fan, I'm like, bro, why do I have to go all the way to Kansas or something just to watch my team play, then drive all the way to Columbus and watch them again? Because I don't get any games here, like, at least in the Champions League.
It's home.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Was it the Leagues Cup last year where that, like, Leon or whoever that team was had to spend like 2 nights in the airport before their game?
Yep.
Like, that's just crazy.
It is crazy. All at the sake of just like, and it's just especially bad. It's an especially bad look for MLS because it's like Messi. Like they created this tournament for Messi, I think.
To help him win the GOAT debate, probably.
Probably. Oh, here's a plastic trophy that you can go win, Messi. Enjoy it, bud.
Yeah, they did have the Messi commercial, a pink goat, but he wasn't even in it.
Yeah, it was just a pink. It was just a pink goat. At least Berkey was in it. I can at least. Yeah. If there was no St. Louis player in that commercial, they should have never aired it in the stadium. But
yeah, the League Cup should be canceled. Give us a Champions League Cup and MLS Supporter Shield, U.S. Open. It should really be like that forever. If you want to have something different, improve on those.
Yeah.
Don't cancel something. Yeah. Make those better. Also, MLS. We don't need 70% of the teams in the playoffs. That's a lot. It doesn't matter.
We don't need a 3-game series at the start either.
Yeah, like what's the point? Like,
whatever. Who cares?
These early games just aren't mattering. I mean, we saw Sporting Kansas City draw late minute against Philadelphia Union last night, and they're just like, just remember, these games don't matter. It only matters come like July.
It's like if I'm like, what's it called? 8 seed, and I'm playing the 1st seed or something. Tie at home, go back and win at home, and you're past. You're through. There's not really a big advantage.
Yeah.
For the 1st seed, you just get tired because you're playing more and more games.
Well,
make it a one and done.
We sure thought it was going to be a home field advantage last year.
Yeah.
Hey, we don't talk about that.
Shit, you're right.
All right. I think the last thing for this NYC game, we didn't really talk about the subs very much.
Yeah.
So João Klaus came in, obviously, first for Vasilev. What do you guys think of his performance?
João. Yeah, I didn't think he had too much impact. I mean, not really a lot of time for him. He's kind of sliding in form. and that's why we saw Sam get the start in this game. I really had no notes on his performance because there really wasn't a whole lot that he got done.
Yeah, I honestly think the subs were I
Yeah.
would say. I didn't really pay too much attention because after that red card, I'm like, yep, if we lose, we just suck. I'm just going to cheer and run around for the next 10, 15 minutes because that's we should win now. I don't think the subs are just there to preserve the game. We didn't do,
Just fresh legs.
Yeah.
We didn't do too much. Durkin got a yellow. And
Yeah.
that's pretty much it. Just win the game now.
Oh, we didn't talk about Sand's red card on that same play. Durkin got a yellow.
Yeah, blood needs to be banned for at least 3 games for that. That was disgusting.
Yeah, I think execution is the proper punishment for this.
Yeah, so Durkin, he definitely fouled Sands on New York.
Got a deserving yellow.
Got a yellow. But as they were kind of tumbling to the ground, like Durkin kind of fell over Sands, and Sands just like stuck his leg up. His back was on the ground. He stuck his leg up, cleats first into Durkin's stomach, and like kicked out at him.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's really fucked up.
Yeah, a red card. Thank goodness they sent him to go look at it on the VAR monitor because he needed gone.
Man, I love when they go to the VAR. It's the best.
Beep,
Just,
beep, beep.
especially it goes my way. I had 2 games I went to this year, 2 wins. Compared to last year, 0 wins. I think I'm the good luck charm now.
Season 2 Mo.
Also, both of the games I went to, 2 VAR calls. 1 red card and 1 disallowed goal.
Yes, sir.
I may be cooking something. I might be giving someone money, but that's not, we'll figure that out later.
Scabs, check your PayPal. Other substitution.
Ostrakian.
Oh, I was gonna skim over the rest of them subs.
Who
To be
cares
honest,
about Ostrak and Thorson?
they did come on, and I guess Ostrak did have. He had a couple decent moments. I
He had
do
a
remember
yellow
seeing
card.
him and a yellow card.
Yeah.
Thor did dribble for the first time ever successfully, so that was really good.
Yeah.
He wasn't credited one
Oh,
on the stats.
never mind then.
But he looked, maybe he's improving.
Maybe, hopefully.
He needs to straighten up his back.
He needs a better haircut, too.
Yeah, he needs a mid fade.
Imagine
Hit
if
up
Nucky
Cherokee
Thorson had a low taper fade.
Okay, but yeah, anyway, the sub that we all care about, Nicholas Deere, our new left back, first sighting of him. I thought he was fictional.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I mean, he only played 8 minutes. So.
I think he maybe had like 2 touches, but I'm glad he's
7.
playing.
7.
7 touches. Damn, the flags were in my face during the game, so I didn't really get to see all the moments.
Yeah, big ass flag. We can't even watch the game.
There were quite a few moments that we missed because there were some big old flags in the face. Yeah, and also I believe it's pronounced Doer.
It's a lot of, there's no vowels. Is
Doer.
Y a vowel?
They pronounce it in the stadium as like door.
I'm gonna call him Deer.
That's how I would think to pronounce it, but I guess
I'm just calling Nicholas. I think that's
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, you can't
the
fuck
only
that
Nicholas
one up.
on our team after Joe Aquini left.
And he
Sad.
still doesn't play there too.
At Como,
Yeah, he played 1 game. I was watching it,
Yeah.
and they're
Hopefully-
losing too now. Ever since he joined,
Really? Oh, jeez.
but he's not playing, so it's not his fault.
Yeah, maybe if they don't want to lose, they should sub him on.
Yeah, sub on the boy Gio.
Yeah, so definitely glad to see Doer's first glimpse. Obviously, it wasn't for very long. Let's quickly jump around the league and see what some of the Western Conference results were for the rest of the MLS, shall we?
Okay.
So Minnesota took on the Columbus Crew. That ended in a 1-1 draw in Minnesota.
Surprising, Minnesota wasn't that good last year.
They're supposedly, I believe they're back this year.
Nice.
In a good way. Salt Lake taking on LAFC in a snow game. It was snowy as hell in Utah.
The Frenchman couldn't handle the snow.
3-0. Yeah, that was a lot of goals on Hugo Lloris. Vancouver taking on Charlotte FC, ended in a 1-1 draw in Vancouver. Dallas.
Western.
So Vancouver's Western. There is a lot of interconference play this weekend.
Okay.
Because Dallas took on Montreal. They were defeated 1-2 in Dallas. Houston taking on New York Red Bulls. They were taken down 1-2 in Houston. Sporting KC dropped points to the Philadelphia Union, which we touched on earlier. 1-1 draw after a 95-minute winner. Sporting Kansas City fans. Cauldron
equalizer.
Cauldron fans, please do not throw alcoholic beverages at players. Horrible look for the Cauldron.
Horrible fans, horrible city, horrible people, horrible. They should just be wiped off the face of the U.S.
Let's build a parking lot over Children's Mercy Park. Colorado Rapids taking on Nashville FC. Ended in a 1-1 draw in Colorado. Portland Timbers taking on DC United. 2-2 draw in Portland. San Jose taking on the Galaxy in San Jose. Galaxy come out with a 3-1 defeat. And Seattle Sounders draw 0-0 with Austin in Seattle. And that is the Western Conference games from yesterday. So we're sitting pretty. I believe St. Louis City maybe up there in terms of the table. I know that it's very early on. Third in the table.
Tied also for third.
Tied for
first, sorry.
Tied for second. Portland ahead on goal difference. We're tied with Galaxy on goal difference right now.
So many teams.
Yeah, it's too early to even look
Second
at the table.
through 12th all has 4 points.
A bit too early to really get anything
meaningless.
meaningful. But obviously next on the block for St. Louis City, we will be taking on the Austin FC in Austin. As we remember from last year, our inaugural game, 3-2 win in Q2 Stadium.
Yeah.
Bit of a banger match from last year.
We kind of own this club.
Big time.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you guys a spoiler for next week.
Okay.
Okay.
Right? We're going to win 2-0, right, with Austin dissolving afterwards.
Interesting. Austin did just tie Seattle in Seattle.
Yeah. It's a big result.
Yeah, maybe it was raining and they were depressed that day. So
I feel like they would be used to it in Seattle.
yeah, but maybe it was raining super hard that day.
Maybe it was windy too.
Yeah, but I think we just kind of own Austin at the moment. 2 wins, not even a tie, even at their home. Our first ever game, we cooked them 2.
What if that just means they're due for a result against us?
Then I'll cry. But until then, we own them. I'm going to change the Wikipedia tonight as owners of Austin FC, St. Louis City. So I'm going to say 2-0 next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go for a little 2-1 victory in Austin. I think we're looking good. I think I'm not too concerned about Austin as a whole. I have to sneeze.
Bless you.
Oh, you bastard. You took it away from me. Yeah, we do own Austin, don't
Austin is also in hot water on MLS Twitter.
Wow.
The MLS posted a picture of an Austin fan.
Oh, I saw this.
Yeah, and apparently she's notoriously racist.
Oh.
Yeah, and the MLS took down the post because everyone was like, isn't this woman racist?
And they had like videos of her.
Yeah, and the woman who she abused came out and said, thanks, MLS. This actually gave me PTSD. That woman gave me PTSD. You can ask my therapist.
And I'm suing you.
Yeah.
I hope.
Well, as we know, the MLS doesn't really care about racism, and we saw that with the Kai Wagner canceled suspension.
Yeah.
Called a player a racist Asian slur, banned him for 4 games. MLS said, hey, you know what? Come on back, buddy. We don't really care.
Yeah.
Pretty bad look all around. The MLS is full of bad looks, if you really think about it.
Yep. We are going to be going up against Driussi, a man who St. Louis City Park hates.
Yes.
From last time we played him.
Yep.
And Giassi Zardes.
God, he's still in this league. Just hang up the boots, bro.
He's 32 years old.
He's old,
It's
man.
getting to be that time, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, time for a move to the USL.
Time to move to the
Get
Saudi
ready to
League.
learn Chinese, buddy.
Get ready to learn the Birmingham accent, buddy. You're going to the Legion.
With our boy. No, we don't want him
Near our Prince
Our
Miggy
Prince
Perez.
Miggy Perez. Honestly, with the whole Open Cup debacle, I hope Birmingham make it far and play in a city nearby, because I would be down to go watch Miggy Perez play.
You don't want to drive down to Birmingham, Alabama?
Not particularly.
Me too.
Not a lot going on in Birmingham, Alabama, unfortunately. Hopefully Miggy's having a good time, though.
Agreed.
Anything else we want to touch on with the Austin game? It'll be next Saturday.
I think that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. We're going to be looking to do maybe a little live stream action come Saturday. Maybe do a little watch-along type beat, which you guys will be able to join us on YouTube. But if we're all set here, Jonah, did you have a score prediction you wanted to throw out for Austin?
I will say, since they just tied 0-0 with Seattle in Seattle, I'll say 1-0 us
Okay.
on the road.
And with that, we thank you very much for dropping in. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all the sheboingans that you can, and we will catch you next weekend. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for watching this episode of Soul of the City, brought to you by First Touch Media and Anchor FM. Make sure to check us out on YouTube at First Touch Media, and all of our socials are at First Touch 314. Thank you for watching.